Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now. Hey everyone, welcome. So today we're going to talk about the new episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey. That's season 16 of that's episode 16 of season 13, and it's the Teresa Gets Married special. So like the season kind of like officially ended last week, but this is like, the wedding. So we begin the episode with, like a little rundown of Teresa and Louis' relationship. They're in their confessional and they're, going down memory lane, remembering their engagement and stuff like that. For this special, they got like different confessional looks, like they had a white background, so it was definitely, you could tell it was a little bit different than just any regular old episode. And you know what? Even though I made my opinions clear last week on what I thought of Teresa and Melissa, I decided to watch this without any of those negative thoughts so I could enjoy it. And the first scene of the episode, per se, is the rehearsal. So it's the day before the wedding. So that's where we see all the families and some of the Jersey girls like Dolores and Jennifer. And then Teresa eventually has to address that her brother won't be there. And her daughters are very upset, which is, understandable. Gia actually goes over to Dolores and Jennifer and they talk, they say, how's your mom doing? And then Gia says, like, everything is good, except the only thing that's affecting her is, my uncle not coming. And, in her confessional, Gia says that the bridge is, is broken. And the ladies, though, they kind of had this look on their face. I could tell they probably wanted to say to her, like, stay out of grown folks' business. But she is 20 or something like that. So I get why she has like an opinion and she's more vocal now. One of the things that does kind of break my heart, though, is Teresa being upset that her parents aren't around to see the wedding. That is pretty sad. But like I said, both of Louis' parents are there and they say some really nice things to Teresa. Then, you guys, it's the big day. So Teresa's getting ready. Some of her close friends are there. And Teresa gets a little emotional again for her dad, who passed away not that long ago. And then she brings up that Joe's not coming again. Jennifer Aydin then enters the dressing room and she gives her this super cool jewelry. It's like a little piece of jewelry with Teresa's parents in the picture. And Teresa said that she was going to take it down the aisle so I can kind of like, she can kind of like feel them when she's walking down. But then Jennifer brings up the mess of the finale. So I guess I wasn't really able to ignore it. Like I said, I was going to try to. But Jennifer says that she's really sorry for telling Danielle the secret about Melissa, which we all know that was their plan. So that was just, kind of unnecessary. But the girls overhear the conversation, Teresa's daughters, and they get super upset. One of the girls even starts crying. I'm not sure why. Like, why are you crying? But they just don't want to talk about Joe at all. We then see Louis with all the guys. He's, really excited and he says that he's happy. Then they come to Teresa's room. They put that crown on her hair and then they pulled it over, and y'all know how the hair looked. And even some of the women were kind of like throwing semi-shade about that. But then after some time, the guests begin to arrive. So we see from New Jersey, we see Miss Margaret Josephs, Danielle, Jen Fessler. We see Ashley from Potomac, Chanel Ayan, Dorinda and Jill from New York. That was super cool seeing all the different, housewives from the different cities. And Margaret feels a little uneasy, though, because she says that she knows that Melissa is hurting at the moment, and that's her friend. So she feels a little weird being there. Also, I did find it surprising that Jackie was there. But the wedding was outside, and unfortunately, it was super hot. Like, it was almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But I guess that's better than if it started raining. I saw actually a video today of someone who had an outdoor wedding like that, and it started raining, and I felt so bad for them. But guess who I saw, you guys? My favorite housewife of all time, Phaedra Parks, was at the ceremony. But yeah, the ceremony begins and the people start walking out once everyone's seated. The court, the bridesmaids, the men, Louis, and then finally Teresa Giudice arrives, behind an orchestra. It was very nice. Dramatic, but it was definitely nice. And she approaches the stage and they read their vows. Another thing I want to point out was Margaret was crying. I really think she's a good person. I think she's just, gets too involved in the mess, but that showed that she really is nice. But what I did find a little bit weird was that the wedding officiant was Louis' sister. I don't know. But anyways, like I said, once they read their vows and everything, they are pronounced husband and wife. And then after the ceremony, they start to go inside. They have a little bit of, snacks and stuff to eat. We see some more Bravo celebrities, Cynthia Bailey, Alexia from Miami, and Kenya. Then, you guys, Margaret's having a conversation with Jen Fessler and Jackie as well. And she's really happy for them, for Teresa and Louis. But she says, how can she stay there and dance and be all happy when she's thinking of joining Melissa? But the friends try to tell her, like, you should forget about that. You can have two thoughts at the same time. Like, you can enjoy and still, be friends with them. But the celebration continues. And they're all like in the room where everything's happening. And Margaret goes to Dolores and says, you know what? I'm just going to wait for Teresa and Louis to come, like, officially arrive to the party. And once they do that, I'll leave. And then, you guys, everyone's phones start blowing up. Joe went on a rampage on Instagram saying some negative things, bashing Teresa, which I don't think was cool. I mean, I totally understand why he didn't go to the wedding. Don't get me wrong. But to do the social media thing, like, I don't know. And of course, Louis sees it. He gets so angry, like a little bit too angry, like we saw in the finale. I think he should have just ignored it. But like even one of the producers had to go to talk to him, like, calm down. But Teresa changes into another dress. I couldn't really tell a difference. I don't know if maybe because I didn't really notice, but they were like both white and long. But they go down to the reception. They have some weird burlesque show. It was a little bit too much for me, to be honest. I didn't really understand those dancers. Yeah. But Margaret goes ahead and sneaks out. And then the episode ends with a bunch of dancing. The daughters were really happy for her. That was nice. They even gave a little speech, thanking Louis for everything. Oh, and we even saw Lonnie Love, which I was a little bit confused. I was like, Lonnie Love? Why is she there? But then I remember she was doing a Watch What Happens Live with Teresa, and she kind of like invited herself. She was like, am I invited? And Teresa was like, sure. So I remember why. But it ends. They're really happy, Louis and Teresa, I will say. And everybody else around them was also happy. So maybe it was for the best that that Joe didn't go, and Melissa, not just for their sake, but Teresa's sake as well. She definitely didn't seem to mind that they weren't there. So that was it, you guys. That was the long anticipated Teresa Gets Married special. Of course, this whole season kind of has been like, that's kind of been the theme, But then you guys, oh my, we get the season reunion trailer. It's going to look very heated. It's going to look very confrontational. The way that, just from the trailer, that I saw Teresa and Melissa speak to each other, they've always argued. But in this reunion, the hatred that the disdain that they have for one another, it's so strong. I said that last time. I really feel like they're at a point of no return. Teresa even says something like, after this, I'll never see your freaking face again. Like, it's bad. So that's definitely going to be an interesting reunion. Teresa was also very upset because Andy yelled at her, but we'll see how it all plays out next week. I can't wait for that. And I know that New Jersey is currently on pause because Andy doesn't know who he's going to fire, either Melissa or Teresa. So whatever they do is going to be drastic, and I can't wait to see how that's going to end up looking. But as far as this episode, the special, what did you guys think? Did you guys watch it? And if you did, just tell me, what are your opinions? Or even if you're just hearing this, what are your opinions about the wedding? It was definitely nice, like I said, but let me know all your thoughts in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on next time. You have a great one. Bye.